right, so our next system of nomenclature for our organic species are what we call ethers. Ethers have been around for a long time. We use them for a variety of purposes. We still use them if you got an old diesel engine on like your tractor or your Bobcat. The ether igniter that we actually add a little extra spark, a little oomph. These are highly flammable substances, and so we still use them actually as kind of a jump start for our vehicles in that regard. Historically speaking, ethers used to be used as anesthetics. They're good at kind of sterilizing and or not what's the word for putting you to sleep, right? I don't know if there's a word for that. Isn't coming. But that is kind of the history of our ethers. By definition, our functional group ether is just got some carbons. We have our end of our carbon bonded to an oxygen, and then it bridges the gap to another set of carbons. Kind of this is R prime, a different set of carbons coming off the other side. Could be the same, could be different, but that would be how we identify an ether, where there's just this oxygen in the middle of the chain. And so we've got here a couple of examples. The naming here is pretty straightforward. You can identify the two carbon chains, and then you put them alphabetically, and then add the word ether at the end, which is nice. That is pretty straightforward. So long as you identify the functional group, you're off and running. So cool. Here we've got a methyl. Here's a methyl. We got two methyls. We would call this dimethyl ether. Oh, okay. Ether tells us there's no in there. Dimethyl means there's a methyl coming off of each end. Here we've got two carbon chain, so this would be diethyl, right? Me eat ethane, diethyl ether. Diethyl ether. Over here, now we got two different ones. So now we would start by identifying our two groups. We've got 1, 2, so this would be an ethyl. Ethyl spelling. I teach science. We've got an ethyl group here. We've got a methyl here. One carbon chain. And so we just put them alphabetical. This would be ethyl. E comes before methyl. This would be ethyl, methyl, ether. And that's it. Pretty straightforward. So just, again, making sure you identify the functional group and you're off and running. Cool. So let's try some of these. I'm going to switch it up to skeletal just because it's faster and it's a little bit easier to see what's going on. But you can use whichever one you want. Sure, why not? Cool. So we could name this, right? We've got 1, 2 carbons. This doesn't count as carbon. This is where the O is attached. So this would be 1, 2 carbons. So this would be an ethyl. To the left-hand side, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. This would be a pentyl. Oh, that's fun. Pentyl group. Alphabetically speaking, this would be ethyl, pentyl, ether. Ethyl, pentyl, ether. Pretty straightforward. Cool. Another one for you. Let's do. No, can't do it. Cool, let's do this one. Sorry. Drown. Cool, so we know it's an ether. It's got this O right here in the middle. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 coming here. This is a pentyl. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 coming here. That's a butyl. Alphabetically, B comes before P, so this would be butyl, pentyl, ether. Butyl, pentyl, ether. As our functional group, ether. Cool. Should be able to go the other way then, right? If I were to say, let's do ethyl hexyl ether. Oh boy. Ethyl hexyl ether. Well, that's ethyl, that's a 2 carbon chain. So 1, 2, attach my O. Hexyl is a 6 carbon chain. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? Double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Ethyl hexyl ether. Cool. Ether is pretty straightforward. Again, so long as we're identifying our functional groups, it's the same base prefixes we've kind of been using for our meth, eth, prop, bute, and then we're back on with our Greek prefixes for pent, hex, hept, hept, oct, non, and dec in terms of our nomenclature system for our ethers.